Hello and welcome to WOW's Operation Replays. This is your host, Lord Holland, and today DeathWing has sent me another review, or ranked gameplay, and this time in his Groningen. Now, for his team, he's got a U-190, Black, Pommern, Frederick de Grosse, and a Georgia. Now, he's got a pretty good team here. The only ship that puts him at a disadvantage is that Frederick de Grosse, because it's a very hard ship to play. The guns are only 380s, so those are Bismarck guns at tier 9. So they're not as effective as they are at tier 8. So, and it does burn. So DeathWing is going to go find the sub. And the Georgia's like switch FDG. So either they're gonna, he either wants his FDG to stay on the B side or go to the C side. I don't really know. Ranked communication can be very confusing at times, but I imagine he'll stay on B side and the Georgia will go to C side, because putting the two Germans on one side with the Groningen is probably the best idea. The Black can take care of himself with the Georgia. So those two together will make a very good combination. Now the U, a sub can do his own little thing. I mean, as long as he's not caught out by their DD, or DDs, I guess, he'll be okay. Now, DeathWing is RPF located, so the enemy knows where he is. He's the closest one, so they know, or at least having a direction, an idea of where he's at. So we'll see how he uses it. Now, Groningen's a very good ship. Very good ship. It has a 1.5 second reload built into it. It has very decent AA at 6 kilometers, hydroacoustic range at 5 kilometers, and very excellent AA. It's what replaced the Friesland. It's basically, if you have been around long enough and you have the Friesland, you don't really need the Groningen, unless you want to have another tier 9 Friesland. It's basically a Friesland. I didn't get the Friesland because it was too expensive for me at the time. Kind of wish I should have had it, but it's whatever. I did pick up the Groningen when I came back, and I really love the ship. I really love it. It's a fun ship. Highly recommended. So, at this moment, no one's at the C point right now.
Enemy force detected.
Oh, wow, their FCT is really charging in. Wow. Now, he isn't detected, so the odds are the DD's on the flank over here. But the fact that FDG is just pushing in there, it's very, it's ballsy. It could work. Now, they do it, so the teams are pretty mirrored up with exactly the exact same battleship. So they don't have a so the battleships are pretty much tied. Now, he is pretty much smoking up. FTG does have its 5K like Hydro, but he's well with... It doesn't matter. Now that FPG got 2 fires put on him immediately in DCP. Very bad mistake. Very bad mistake, especially if you know you got a Groningen. So DeathWing can just farm this guy. He really should be popping his Hydro though. He does get a fire, and you can just see the rate of fire on this thing. It's ridiculous. Now, I really hope he bought this Hydro, because we don't want him to get caught by Torps. They have cap to be, they got a point advantage. And so it's a Black versus a Taskent, and a Pommern versus a Georgia on the C side. DeathWing's team has that advantage. The Georgia is running. Now that Georgia over there has Halsey on. So, if he gets Confederate, he's going to be a menace. And he is a full secondary spec Georgia. I can see that already. So, interesting setup for Georgia. Now that FTG has no points but to run. Oh, we found their sub. In a very bad spot. That's a bad spot. Very bad spot, Mr. Sub. Unless you can kill that Black, you're gonna have your hands full. Now I love how DeathWing sub is helping the team, not going off on his own. Kind of helping support the team, kind of pushing their enemy battleships off the point. Now we're still missing a DD. We're still missing one DD. And DeathWing is not RPF located, so his team is taking up the RPF locator. but I have no idea what that other sub is, or that other DD is. I thought he would be on the 1 or 2 line, but I haven't seen torps or anything. And he hasn't put torps on DeathWing Smoke, so I don't know what the other DD is. Oh! Wow, okay, so that DD was on the 1-2 line. He was on the 1-2 line, and he swung all the way around, or went through the middle. Either went through the middle, or around the 1-2 line to cap that point. So that's interesting, and he didn't even drop torps on DeathWing Smoke. Now, they do kill their Georgia, and the FDG is running. They've basically won this side. But they're still a DD, so those battleships are still in danger. It looks like their salmon is running, or has submerged. I believe their FDG is going to go down. But DeathWing's team has the advantage. I mean, they're going to pick up... The enemy's probably going to keep resetting C. So, I don't know if the enemy will pick up... Yeah, they'll keep resetting C. Oh, it's a Fletcher. Interesting. That's interesting, because why would the Fletcher has like 9k torps? Or no, it has 10k torps. Oh, they do kill it and hit their bomber. Interesting. Okay. And why? That doesn't. That's definitely like how not to play in a DD. Honestly, I get the Fletcher going around, but with a full torque build on a Fletcher, even with just the module and maybe a reload, you can get it down to a minute and a half. That Fletcher could have easily, had been spamming torps and DeathWing Smoke, torping those battleships, but he went all the way around the 1-2 line just to cap. I mean, that seems like something I would see in range, but we're in Silver League here, so DeathWing's in Silver League, so it just kind of, oh boy, Georgia keep running, fucking, oh boy. That was the Palmer, I think. Yeah, that was the Palmer. Now, as anyone knows, I do have, a bias, or not so much a bias, but I know German battleships take a lot of damage. He probably got, Palmer just got focused, I bet. Now, the Fletcher has dropped torps on their battleship, so their FDG is running away. And he's like half health. Or at least the third health. DeathWing can gun down the Fletcher and the DD. It's only the Taskent he has to really worry about. Lucky shot, they're knocking out his engine. But if DeathWing can get a health advantage on him. Now, those are blue tracers coming in on that DD. So that tells me he has one of the Alexander Ovechkin captains on. And you can't get that captain no more. So this Taskent is definitely evasive tanking. He's doing what Taskents do. And he's winning the health battle against DeathWing. So, DeathWing does go dark. Does DCP now that he knows he's dark. And DeathWing can't openly gun this guy down. With a 9k health difference, he would lose to Taskent. So he has to basically go hunt down the sub and help kill the Fletcher. That's the only thing he can really do. Oh wow, Fletcher's really low. 2k health. See, that Fletcher really spoiled a really big opportunity to torp DeathWing Smoke and torp those battleships. I personally, when I did my Fletcher, I put it as a torp build, and I ran it with a torp build. Now, we've got a really interesting situation here. They've lost 2 battleships. They've still got great DDs, and their DDs, I believe, have the health advantage. So, we'll see how that goes. Together, the black and the 2 can gun down pretty much anything. So, there's nothing really worrying on that. They just got to keep that battleship up. Oh, yep, he is right there.
And he is in hydro range.
Now the hydro, death charges on the Groningen shoot forward, so that's takes some getting used to. Let's see if DeathWing uses his. Yep, those are the depth charges. See, they do take some getting used to, because since they shoot forward. It's getting mostly just blast damage, nothing major. That sub has. I think that sub's gonna go down. Yep, DeathWing does pick up the subs. Wow, it took smoke up, DeathWing, smoke up, smoke up. There you go. Now that Taskent's in a world of hurt. Now with the black there, that Taskent is down. He's going down. There's no way. Oh, he picks up DeathWing, picks up high caliber. Nice.
The ship is on fire.
Barely lived there.
Problem solved, sir.
Now their FDG is pretty much a goner, and yes, their sub was pretty low. One battleship airstrike will kill him. So there's still a Fletcher and out there, but that Fletcher was 2k health. And what the enemy has to face, the black and the Groningen can just fire down that. Yeah, FDG is going down. He ain't surviving. It was kind of hairy there for a second, but I mean, with a 500 point lead, it's really like wow. But not bad in a Groningen, 96k in ranked. Now, yeah, that Fletcher's just gonna run to the A line at this point. There's nothing he can do. He's gonna just run to the, and they're gonna point out in like 10 seconds. So a very interesting match. I would love to see some lost battles from DeathWing, though. I would like to see some lost battles.